Hello everyone, Sam Wahid Khan, coach and speaker at Mission Always Strong. Today we're going to talk about a term, a scenario, condition that we go through on daily basis. A lot of times we are not even aware of it, but we keep on doing it. We call it delaying, we call it postponing, but the real term for that is, if you really observe, will be procrastination. What procrastination means is delaying of something that is very important to us today on a later day and time. It happens all over in our life. It happens at work, it happens at home, it happens at personal relationship. You'll be surprised to see that how much we are surrounded by it. A lot of time people in conversation says, I didn't have time for it, or I had something else to do. But if you really look into the details, you'll be surprised to see how many things we put off and we call them we didn't have time for it. For example, something like a microwave at home has to be fixed. We were asked to do that 2 days ago. We come home, instead of fixing that, we decide to go to the park, or decide to go to get coffee or start watching TV. Same thing at work. We are supposed to finish a job assignment because we have to present to a client tomorrow or day after tomorrow. Instead of doing that, we sit down there, we start surfing online, or we start checking something on the phone. In our exam times, instead of preparing, we know the dates are coming, we start playing video games, or we find the cartoons very interesting, or even the small clips on YouTube is all of a sudden so interesting to us. If you ask 100 people, 1,000 people, each one of them will give you a different reason why they didn't have time for something to do. But the problem is, if you really look down into the details, the main cause for procrastination is fear. Fear of, basically, could be of any type. Fear could be of losing, fear of could be of winning, fear of could be actually wasting time in something while you could have gotten something else. Fear of not getting to the point, not having enough skills to get to the point. All these fears combined, or getting exposed, all these fears combined together basically will put you in a procrastination mode. You'll be surprised that a lot of time we are not even aware of it. Like somehow we feel like if in our mind, if we think, we start blaming our mind, like it's our brain, and we think we keep on wandering through the thoughts and this and that. But we don't understand that we are deep wired with something to avoid pain. So sometimes people will not do certain things at their job because they have been claiming about certain things, and if they are given that certain position, they consider that they are not ready for it. In their mind or in their brain, they don't think they're ready for it, so they kind of procrastinate. They don't want to get to the point where in the limelight. They don't want that extra cushion. Same thing at house. You'll be surprised to see your garage will need to be done, and that will put you in a better mood. Your office table is messy, or your house desk is messy, something like that, and you need to fix it. Not doing it. You're just delaying it. Something in the health needs to be checked out. For example, blood pressure. You know about it, that you're having a small chest pain, but you've been delaying it for over months. It's a very serious problem. If you start observing things like that, if you have nailed down more than like 2 on the list where you think that something in the garage, and you start nailing them down, if you have wrote more than 2, then more than likely you are procrastinating. The thing is, it's not something to worry about. It's not something to worry about in the beginning where you feel like that you're procrastinating. We all do that at some point, or we have done that at some point in our lives. It's very normal. We sometimes do delay things, but it becomes a problem when you're not even aware of it. Like, you keep on going through the consequences. Despite of knowing that if you don't finish the task at a certain amount of time, that you are not going to get the promotion. Yet you decide to delay till the last minute. So the fear could be that, what if you do get the promotion, you're not qualified enough to be at that position, even though you want to. So you're not trusting yourself. Or it could be that when you do finish the final the assignment, you're still not going to be able to get the job, or still someone else is going to get preferred over you, and then you're not well qualified enough to basically do the job the way it's supposed to be done. There could be so many different scenarios of the fear, and that just you have to look inside yourself. The whole thing is to avoid the pain. The fear is directly linked to the pain, whether it's physical, whether it's emotional. We don't want to be judged by the society in case we fail on something. We claim so many things in front of our friends, so I don't want to open my business because what if I do open my business? And if I don't get to the point where I always said to be, then I'm going to be so embarrassed in front of my friends and my family. So a lot of these things has to do with the fear and pain altogether that we're looking into. And it's really sad that we sometimes we don't even realize it. If you really look at the world stats, nearly about 20% of the people are actually dealing with the chronic illness of procrastination. And they're actually getting therapies for it. It's a problem that's only increasing over the time. Why people doing it, keep on delaying it because the fear, the pain, all that mixed together, we are not trusting ourselves. So what needs to be done in procrastination mode, I'm going to take you to the bottom. There's so many ways to encounter that, but the key of all this comes down to one basic things. You start making lists of your fears, anything that you think of. You have to be very, very honest to yourself. Do a self-evaluation, make a list of all the items that you think basically that you're scared of or that you think are going to cause you pain. And then you start working around it. You can't fix this problem overnight. That's another thing. You cannot. You have to take baby steps for it, especially if it has taken a toll where you have developed a habit out of it, where you can't change it. Then you really have to go back to the basic root. You have to really narrow down what your actual personality is, what are your deep-rooted fears. You have to make a list of all those items and you have to start working on it. Have an accountability partner, have a mentor who can sit with you, who can help you guide through the process, take the baby steps, and slowly you move towards that stuff. It is extremely important that we do realize that we are not procrastinating in our lives. Small delaying here and there is okay, but anything, like I said before, if you're doing more than 2 or 3 tasks at a time that requires your immediate attention and you are delaying them, then there's a high probability that you are a procrastinator. There's nothing wrong with that. I've done it. So many people do it all the time. The problem is, it's not a problem. The solution to that is that you identify that you are procrastinating. So when you want to write a book or when you have to finish an assignment, instead of coming to the room and start painting the room, maybe we want to focus on the assignment. Maybe you want to keep the consequences in front of us all the time. That what if I don't finish the job, I'm not going to get the promotion. And if I don't get the promotion, I'm not going to get the money. Same thing at house. If my mother, my wife, my sister, they ask me something to do at home, I don't fix it, eventually my relationship is going to go beyond the irritation mode. We don't want to do that to ourselves. We want to write down all our deep-rooted fears. We want to start making a list of it. If I'm scared of going to some higher position, a job, I need to start working on the skills that I need to basically present myself better at that job position. If I'm scared of height, if I have phobia from that, I don't have to go skydive, but I can definitely get the right gear and maybe go for zip lining just to overcome my fear. The thing is, we can do work on our fears as long as we are aware of them. As long as we are aware of the things that cause us pain, that cause us fear, there's nothing wrong with going back. The one thing that you need to start understanding is that no one really cares out there what you fail or you pass. It's not really their business. They might interfere for the time being, but it's up to you if you allow people to tell you that certain things that you can do or you can't do. At the end of the day, everyone has their own busy lives, their busy schedule that they're busy with, their families, their friends. I mean, they really don't have time to think about you after hours. And the sooner you get a grip of that, the better it gets. Everything that has to be done, you're responsible for it. You have to do it. It just becomes easier once you start taking responsibility of the whole thing. You start feeling better. on one side of the spectrum is pain, while you start fixing the problem of procrastination, start facing your fears, start developing your skills, start fixing the issue, you start meeting the other part of the spectrum. The other side of the spectrum, you start meeting that, and which is pleasure. Success brings you pleasure, my friends, and that's what we all strive for. The fulfillment, basically to have the better version of ourselves, to have the best version of ourselves out there. For that, we have to stay motivated. For that, we have to write down our fears. For that, we have to overcome our fears. We have a responsibility towards society. We have a responsibility towards ourselves. We have a responsibility towards the nation. We have to present the best version of ourselves. Stay strong, my friends, and work on your fears. You can follow me on Facebook, Always Strong, at Sam Wahid Khan. You can follow me on Instagram, Coach Always Strong. And you can go to my website for more updates at www.alwaysstrong.com. We'll be talking about these things more in details in coming lectures. If you have any questions, feel free to write me any comments, DM me, email me. I would love to talk more about the topics that you would like me to discuss. Feel free to contact me. Looking forward to talk to you guys again. Take care. Have an excellent week.